Some people are just dense. No amount of reasoning, no amount of subtle hints or overt clues will ever get through. They are so focused on self and only self that they don't see the truth. They can't see the forest for the trees, as it were. Every single interaction with me is a test of character for you. And it's not me testing. I'm just present. I'm just there to endure whatever it is that is happening, that in saying, hey, but this isn't fair, or if we just did this, it would work out better. That, nah. Failing the test. I've spoken before about blessings. About the ones that are ordained for me. Now, if I am ever hypocritical, I suffer near instant karma. Near instantaneous. And if I do the right thing, fail to see, if I see someone in trouble and I don't do anything about it, something happens. I'm not saying that this is the cause of all the things that I go through, but among the things that I go through, this is a thing I have to be very careful of. Not being a hypocrite, not walking past someone that could just as well be me in the same position. And how would I feel? And I do everything in my own interactions with people by the golden rule. To treat others how I would like to be treated, with respect, with dignity, with courtesy, with a good sense of humor. To hope for their success. And to do nothing at all, if possible, to impede or harm their success. But it never, ever reciprocates. All of these people, all of them. No, not all, because there are a few people that are obviously directly attempting to help. But there are, for every one of those, 10 at least, that are either against me directly or just don't care, which is as good as being against me. Because if I'm in a situation where, hey, this ain't right or something's whatever, and maybe, but this would make it go smoother, and you're just like, I don't really care if it hurts or benefits you. Sorry, man. My concerns are my own priorities. Okay, cool. You are against me. All who aid me toward my success, thrive, are blessed. For doing so, they are blessed. And I watch it happen. During this issue with the vehicle, the people that were courteous and kind and dignified toward me have had good things happen. The people that were ambivalent or cheering for my demise have had things get worse. Like, this is real, folks. So the other half of it, especially the ones who are ambivalent, but also the ones who are directly adversarial to my success, all shall suffer as I have. That's part of the deal, too. So, ambivalence, sorry, bro, can't be bothered to care. Suffer as I have suffered. Reach a point where it's too late to go back. You had the opportunity, you failed the test. Whoa. Well, if I just change the answers on the test, then I'll pass though, right? No, not with the test of character. That's not how that works. So I've had to watch online response to some idiot DoorDasher getting pissed off about a 25% tip. And you know what? I have, to be honest, been in his position before. Now, not exactly the same. I was getting paid by the hour as well, which Dashers don't. But I've delivered to some ritzy, rich neighborhoods. Houses that cost more than $1 million. Possibly two. And yeah, $5 is a decent tip at 25%. But there's places it's obvious that these people could easily swing a $10 or $15 make your day kind of tip. And you know what? Maybe those people at that house he was delivering to were intending on adding cash or something, so I don't know. I've felt the exact sentiment, but I've never said it to a customer like that. That's just beyond inappropriate. That dude's never going to work again in that line of business. Tonight, I had to deal with an inordinate number of people that were intentionally tipping far, far under an acceptable amount for good service. I had a manager that gave me the shrug and no promises about staying open to the actual scheduled end of shift, because this manager last day on the job and doesn't have to be anywhere in the morning, but felt tired and wanted to go home early, so we closed an hour early. We haven't had any business, so we're going to have to close. Sure. And then the phone rings. 1 carry out and 2 deliveries. Work for me to do, right? And at that point, we really should have stayed open. So my night came to one mega fuck up. One major issue. Where the people that were working the oven, there was a dude cutting pizzas and a guy was supposed to be working on sides. And instead of working on sides, he felt that 2 people were required, one to supervise and oversee the slicing of the pizza. And I said, hey, so I got these other runs and this last one I'm waiting for here, and I think that's the stuff that's out. And they said, oh, well, you can get it. Well, the problem is I'm not in the kitchen. I'm not a kitchen employee. I don't know all the things and how to read the things. So it turned out on this order that these boneless had a sauce that was supposed to be on the side. But not only did I not know that, and they did not tell me that from looking at it, but the person that took the order, who really ought to have known better, ended up putting the notification about sauce on the side after one of the pizzas, not on the actual boneless chicken. So me not knowing what I was doing and them not doing their job, suggesting that I do it for them, did put the sauce on the chicken. And then it was like, okay, well, I guess that's going to have to be remade. Great, that's money out of my pocket because I don't get to take that run. I got all these other deliveries, which means that the person who took the order and took it wrong ended up getting to take that. And that person tends to tip fairly handsomely. Would have been nice because I was catching some 5%, 7%. The next one might have been better. And to be fair, a third of the deliveries that I took tonight had acceptable or better than acceptable tips. And all the rest of them, I swear, they must have heard that story and they're like, we're going to test all of our delivery people out. We're going to tip like douchebags and see how they react. Well, of course, I'm going to be nice to your face. But I keep a log. I keep track of the addresses who do and don't tip. I have a very, very, very long list. And as I'd said before about, with the blessings, the ordination, the natural order of things, if the job had been done correctly, half of the order is ready, the other half is out, rather than move to the next order, complete the first one. This would make sense. Rather than this happening, it upset the whole thing. Also put me into an absolute ranklement. Truly rotten mood there. Because it's like, dude, that was so preventable. So preventable. And the people doing it, this is that banality thing. This is that shrug. People that don't have the same kind of responsibilities as me, that are not in a position where this job is literally the only job that I can get. This money is literally the only money that I can make. And at this point, we're talking about 75% of what I need is what I am making. Especially on a night like tonight. I had 11 runs. On 11 runs, with the amount of money on what people were spending, had they tipped accordingly and appropriately, would have been significantly more than what I did make, which was almost 100. If the fuckery had not occurred on the one thing, would have definitely been over 100. If 5 or 6 different customers had tipped appropriately rather than insult me, because that's what it is. When you know what tipping is supposed to be, and you know about tipping, and you intentionally come to the door with only $2 on your $60 order, you are insulting me as the driver. You are saying, fuck you and your well-being, which is to be directly against me. Against me. All shall suffer as I have. And I'm not talking about me causing it. I'm not doing anything. Go back and take a look at those videos I put up about that weird inflow band, a weather pattern just persisting and hanging out, dissolving and reforming just over my shoulder here in the slight distance. As I live here outside of town, a bitter person on a hillside, warning people about shit that they don't listen to. Catch my drift. They say evil thrives when good people do nothing. And so every time people who might consider themselves to be good choose to do something that does not help, evil thrives. You would think, oh, well, this is just, we're talking about business. No. We're talking about personal character of individuals. All of us are on trial these days. The character is one of the most important things. Are you a good person? Or are you a piece of shit? Are you attempting to maintain that there is some kind of neutral middle ground between being good and bad? Being neutral is the same as being bad. Same thing with the pandemic. Same thing with pretty much everything. You can either do good and work toward the goals of good. You can do bad and work toward the goals of bad, which is against the goals of good. Or you can do nothing, which allows the goals of bad to prosper and the goals of good to be left by the wayside. That's why it's important to take a side. Doesn't mean you have to take an arbitrary side. But what it means is that is something good, is something bad. And I'm talking in real, reasoned, ethical, and moral terms, not public sentiment. If everyone had appropriately contributed rather than shrug, I would be another 45% of what I made tonight over, 50% over. Between that and everything else, it was something to really take a chunk out of that property tax that I'm still having a really fucking hard time making the payments for. Well, I'm sorry we couldn't stay open later. I'm tired. I just really want to go home. Oh, you want to go home? I want to keep my home. I want to not lose my home. And in the vein of all shall suffer as I have, if you don't care that I can't keep my home, you're going to lose yours. Your primary concern will no longer be, I just wanted to go. Your primary concern will be, what am I going to do now? Me personally, I already have a plan in mind for what I'm going to do now if I come to a point where I lose my home. You can use your imagination. It ain't going to take much. That's all I got. You're either with me or you're against me. And if you are ambivalent, you are against me. If you are with me, you will be blessed. And if you are against me, you will suffer as I have. And I have suffered long and greatly. Immense, tragic loss. As well as, on a daily basis, just interference with the most regular, normal aspects of trying to be alive, do your thing on this planet, to live your life. Impedance nonstop. Nothing works right. This is what is in store for all others. Anyone who either impedes me, opposes me, and anyone else like me as well, because it ain't just me. I am one of a handful of few. But there are people out here that you don't know if it's them or not. I'm the only one saying anything about it. There are others, many others. People you will interact with, you will be a random douchebag, you will be ambivalent and banal. Without realizing you are failing a test and God is standing literally right there watching you fuck up. That's what Judgment Day is. That's what is happening right now in the world. Look around, pay attention to what's happening, and understand that even the people who are not being held accountable in high elite levels in our society and our culture, their time is coming very quickly. Very, very quickly. And it's not going to be people doing it. Do you understand? It's not going to be human activity bringing the downfall of evil. What I would like is for people to be able to empathize with a situation like mine. Not sympathize. I don't want you to, oh, that sucks. It feels bad. That's a bare minimum. That's banality. Empathize. Have you been in a situation that's desperate or dire? Have you felt like everything was just a crushing no-win scenario no matter what you did, and you'd cry out for help and people laugh at you or ignore you? If anyone on this earth spent 1 week in my shoes, you would not survive. You would be like, I think I'm done with this bullshit. This is so pointless. I don't understand how he does it. Honestly, the thing that keeps me going is a love for my cat babies and the direct understanding, clearly and unambiguously, that there is a higher power involved in everything that I'm going through. Because if it wasn't for a higher power being involved in a purpose for this, things would be very different and very, very, very bad. But as it is, remember, all interactions with me are tests of character. I'm not saying give me things. I'm not saying special treatment. I'm saying be a good person. Just be a good person and watch the results. Because more people in this world need to be better people toward everyone around them. Stop thinking just about yourself and what you want. All I ever do is deal with what other people want. And when I ask for my own fair share, I get treated like I'm asking for something extra. So no, this is not really about me. I am just here. I am just enduring the things that I go through as everyone around me is tested for character.